You know, in our digital lives, our personal information is absolutely everywhere. But who's really in charge of it? Well, in India, the rulebook just got a massive update. So let's dive in and break down what this brand new data privacy framework actually means for you and me.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. Every single app you use, every website you visit, who really holds the keys to your digital self? Well, India's new data privacy framework has a very clear answer to that question. It should be you. Period. Okay, so what are these new rules all about? Well, for the first time, India has this complete, official framework that governs exactly how your personal data gets collected, used, and, most importantly, protected.
And let's be clear, this is the real deal. The government has formally notified the Digital Personal Data Protection Rules, or DPDP for short. This isn't just some proposal floating around, this is now the law of the land.
Think of it kind of like building a house, right? The Act from 2023 was the main blueprint. It laid out the foundation, the walls, the whole structure. These new rules from 2025, they're like the super detailed instructions for the builders, filling in all the specifics. And together, they create the complete working framework for data protection.
This quote from the official documents just perfectly sums up the whole spirit of this thing. The entire framework is built around you, the citizen. It's all about making sure companies use your data responsibly and balancing your rights with their need to use data.
And what's really amazing is how collaborative this whole process was. The government held consultations all across the country and got back nearly 7,000 inputs from regular citizens, startups, and big industry groups. So this framework wasn't just cooked up in some back room, it was genuinely shaped by public feedback.
You know, the law itself is actually designed to be understood by everyone. The guiding principle here is SARL, which means it's simple, accessible, rational, and actionable. The goal is super clear. You shouldn't need a law degree just to understand your own rights.
All right, to get how this all works, we need to know the three main players, the main characters, if you will, in the journey of your data. Let's break down who does what.
First up, and most importantly, is the data principal. And that's you. Simple as that. If it's your data, you are the data principal. The law literally puts you right at the center of this entire universe.
Next, we have the data fiduciary. This is the company that's collecting your data. Think social media sites, online stores, even your bank. They're the ones who decide why and how your information gets used. A great way to think of them is like a bank, but for your data. And just like a bank has a legal duty to protect your money, a data fiduciary now has a legal duty to protect your data.
And finally, there's the data processor. This is basically any other company that the fiduciary might hire to help handle your data, like, say, a cloud storage provider. They're the helpers, and they only work on the fiduciary's instructions.
Okay, now for the really exciting part. With these new rules, you, the data principal, get a whole new set of rights. Honestly, you can think of them as your new data superpowers.
So here are your core powers. First, you have the right to give or refuse consent. It's your choice. Second, you can go to any company and ask for a complete copy of the data they have on you. Third, if that data is wrong or outdated, you can demand that they correct it. And fourth, in many situations, you have the right to ask them to just erase your data completely. This is real, hands-on control over your digital footprint.
But wait, there's more. That's not all. You also have the right to know exactly how your data is being used. And you can even nominate someone to manage your data rights for you. Plus, and this is super important, there are special, much stronger protections for the data of children and persons with disabilities.
And here's the thing. These rights have teeth. Companies can't just ignore your requests anymore. They have a hard deadline, a maximum of 90 days to respond. This puts a clear, enforceable timeline on their responsibility to you.
This, of course, leads to the big question, right? What happens if a company fails to protect your data? Or what if they just flat out ignore your requests? What are the actual consequences?
Well, that brings us to the other side of this coin, the brand new rulebook for companies, which includes their responsibilities and, more importantly, some pretty hefty penalties.
And when I say hefty, I mean it. The penalties are significant. Failing to properly secure data can cost a company up to 250 crore rupees. Breaking the special rules for children's data, that's up to 200 crore. These are not just slaps on the wrist. They're designed to be serious financial deterrents.
And beyond just fines, companies now have very clear duties. If there's a data breach, they have to tell you and the authorities immediately, without delay. They also have to give you clear, easy-to-find contact info for a data protection officer. And the bigger companies, they have to conduct regular audits to prove their systems are secure.
Okay, so we have rights for us, the citizens, and we have rules for the companies. But who's the referee here? Who makes the final call and ensures everyone is actually playing by the rules?
So, let's meet the new digital referee, the authority that's in charge of enforcing this whole new system.
And that referee is the Data Protection Board of India. It's an independent body with the power to investigate breaches, enforce all the rules we've talked about, and make sure that real corrective actions are taken. This board is the central authority that holds the entire system together.
And what's really important is that this board is built for the digital age we live in. You can file your complaints online, you can track your case to a web portal, or even a mobile app. The whole system is designed from the ground up to be accessible and fast, making it straightforward for any citizen to get help when they need it.
So, there you have it. A new rulebook for companies, a new set of rights for you, and a new referee to make sure everyone follows the rules. At the end of the day, control over your digital identity is no longer just a nice idea. It's your legal right. The only question left is, how are you going to use it?